The piercing wail of alarms tore through the air, a relentless scream that mirrored the terror in his heart. He sprinted, his worn leather boots pounding against the cold, metallic floor of the narrow corridor. Each desperate gasp for air was punctuated by the grotesque, guttural moans of the Horde closing in behind him, a symphony of the damned echoing off the steel walls. His heart hammered against his ribs, a frantic drumbeat against the rising tide of undead hunger. He was just a man, rugged and worn by this broken world, his face a mask of desperation framed by a scruffy beard and short, dark hair. Behind him, the relentless mass of decaying figures, their clothes in tatters and their eyes glowing with a malevolent red light, surged forward, their only purpose to consume. The gap was closing, their chilling sounds growing louder with every step. With a final, adrenaline-fueled burst of speed, he slammed his shoulder into a heavy security door, stumbling into the room beyond. He didn't waste a second. He spun around, his eyes locking onto a towering metal shelf laden with forgotten supplies. Grunting with exertion, he shoved the heavy structure, its legs scraping violently against the concrete as he barricaded the door. The wood splintered as the first of the Horde threw themselves against it, the impacts shuddering through the metal shelf. He had bought himself only seconds, a fleeting moment of reprieve in a world that offered none. He plunged into the darkness of the adjacent service tunnels, his flashlight cutting a solitary, trembling beam through the oppressive gloom. The air was thick with the smell of dust and decay, a chilling reminder of what lurked just behind the groaning door. The labyrinth of tunnels was a disorienting maze of pipes and shadows. He moved with a desperate urgency, the frantic beam of his flashlight dancing over damp concrete and rusted machinery. The sounds of the Horde were muffled now, a distant but persistent threat. He followed the faded emergency signs, his only guide in this subterranean nightmare. Finally, he saw a glimmer of hope in the suffocating darkness. An emergency exit ladder was bolted to the far wall, ascending into the blackness toward a rooftop hatch. This was his only way out. As he reached the ladder and began to climb, the barricaded door behind him finally gave way with a deafening crash. The Horde poured into the room, a flood of grasping hands and gnashing teeth. He scrambled up the rungs, the metal cold and slick beneath his trembling hands. He was so close, the rooftop hatch just feet away, but they were faster. The first zombie reached the base of the ladder, its decaying fingers clawing at his leg, the grip surprisingly strong. He kicked out, but another grabbed his other ankle, its nails digging into his skin. They were pulling him back down, their collective weight and anchor dragging him back into the abyss of their ranks. The rooftop, his sanctuary, was just out of reach. With a primal roar born of pure survival instinct, he summoned a final desperate surge of strength. He kicked and thrashed, his boot connecting with a sickening crunch, breaking their hold. He scrambled the last few feet, threw open the heavy hatch, and hauled himself onto the rain-slicked rooftop. Without a moment's hesitation, he slammed the hatch shut, the heavy metal booming with finality, just as the Horde overran the room below, their enraged snarls echoing into the night.